Hey everybody, it is another episode of A Piece of Molly's Mind. Oh my gosh, how is everybody? Lots to share. Well, really not, but exciting stuff to share. You guys, I did my filming and I am in a movie. I know. I was a character in a film that's being filmed here in Chagrin Falls. It's a Hallmark style film, and I had my own part, my own name. I'm going to be in the credits. I was Marge, and I can't tell you anything about it other than it's a Hallmark style movie. That's all I can say. Style movie. It's not purchased by Hallmark yet. But Hallmark, if you're listening, three things. First, I'd love for you to be a sponsor of my podcast. Second thing, you should purchase this film. It's called A Christmas Road to You, I believe it's called. Third, you should come and do your own film here in Chagrin Falls. That's all I got. And then the first day of filming, there was no snow. And then the second day, there was tons of snow. It snowed like 2 days ago here in Chagrin Falls. So it was literally so perfect. But they can't redo. They can't say, oh, it's snowing now, let's go redo. Because one second of a film takes tons of time to actually film it. Mine, of course, I had 2 lines, yes, speaking roles. Wow! And I got it in 4 takes. And if I'm not mistaken, the reason it was 4 takes was because they had to shoot me from behind to get the people approaching the front desk. And then they had to shoot from the front to get me at the front desk. I was an innkeeper. How about that, huh? It was a real stretch for me. It was so much fun. The cast, the crew, I can't say enough about all of them. They were Elizabeth and Lexi and Angel and the stars. Just such great people. Everyone was so nice and fun, and they did some shots in the rooms at the inn. So that's going to be highlighted and featured there. We still have some filming going on today, actually. And then, so you can be, there are going to be extras. And it was so much fun. So I am going to be in a movie. And from what I hear, it'll be airing Christmas 26th this year. So how exciting is that? What else? Who else? Really not. A lot of the week was spent working, of course, and then doing this movie. And on my bucket list was to be in a movie and have the inn be featured in a movie. And I got to check both of those off, and it's only like mid-January, which, can we talk about that? The fact that it's mid-January? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, where did it go? Where did it go? Anywho, so you guys, my guest this episode he has been on Broadway. I know I saw him in Moulin Rouge on Broadway. He has been in Riverdale. He was a character throughout the entire, all the seasons of Riverdale. He was Kevin on Riverdale. He is a Chagrin Falls alum. We talk a lot about that. And he is the brother of Casey Cott, which was a couple episodes ago that I interviewed Corey. So here's my little thing that I'm going to be doing without telling the brothers. I want to see which brother's episode gets viewed more. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Actually, they're incredible with each other. There's no rivalry. I mean, not that I know of. But yeah, I'm going to have that. That's going to be my own little, and maybe on my chart here, which I've got to fix because this Spotify sticker is just, let me see if I could fix this really quickly. It's really driving me crazy. It really is. Oh, that's really not much better. Okay, whatever. I don't care. This is what we call low budget right here. Hey, there's whatever. But maybe down here we put, oh my gosh, we'll put COCO, and that would be for Corey Cott. And then we'll put CACO for Casey Cott. And we'll see how many times. Now, Corey has been out for a couple weeks now. So I don't have that number yet. So next week, I will update everybody on whose episode is being watched more. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm funny. But it is time to update my numbers. And I have to tell you, they're very pathetic and very pathetic. So I'm just going to ask again here's the deal. I'm not purchasing followers or whatever, I likers or whatever. I'm not going to purchase them. I want this to be organic. But folks, it's got to grow. I need your help. Please, please, please get it out there. Ask people to follow A Piece of Molly's Mind either on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to YouTube, or over at Spotify. So here's the update of my numbers. As I've said, they're very pathetic this week, okay? So, and I know I am not sharing a lot of content, and I have to get better at that. So I'll do my job with sharing some more content if you'll do your job with sharing and asking people to like me on my social media. And then next week, I want these numbers to be like off the charts. All right, so here we go. Facebook, I was at 528, and I don't even have to erase it because it's still at 528. Aww. Instagram was at 264. Yeah, hold your hats. We gained 2 on Instagram. YouTube was 32. You know what it is now? So it was 32, and it's now 32.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness. You know what, you guys? Here's the thing. It's okay. It's okay because I am sitting down with folks like Casey Cott, who is a star on Riverdale, a star in general, and Corey Cott, who's on SVU and Hallmark and a star. And I've got Hallmark liking my post. I've got Hope, and I've got Kim Gibson. I mean, I got Miss Moyer. You know, I am having fun. So, but I want to grow because we want to be live at the Hive, right? We're going to be live at the Hive. Kimberly and I are talking. We're going to pick a date so that it's concrete. It's going to be myself. I'm going to get interviewed. I am going to be the guest, and then I will interview some very special guests, and we're going to have some surprise guests, and it's going to be amazing. But we got to grow this, okay? YouTube, we were 32. We are currently 32. And on Spotify, we were 13. And now we are 13.
Oh, no.
So we only grew on Instagram. So we gotta grow, folks. We gotta grow. So do me a favor, tell everybody to like, share, love, follow, subscribe, whatever it is. I'm not asking you for your firstborn or your blood type. I'm just asking you to click a button to follow. And then we'll have, if you know, Corey Cott, Casey Cott. All right? So that's all I've got this week. We're going right to the episode. Are we ready? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Here's another episode of A Piece of Molly's Mind. Roll the tape. I'm back. I had to pop back on because after editing Casey's video, I realized that I never mentioned Youngblood, and I didn't mention Youngblood in my pre-show, so I had to pop back on and say, hey, Youngblood, would you please be a guest on A Piece of Molly's Mind podcast?
How you doing?
Love it. Hey, everybody. It is another episode of A Piece of Molly's Mind, and I am beyond thrilled to welcome my guest today, none other than actor, singer, husband, daddy, representing Chagrin Falls, Ohio, Casey Cott.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, Casey Cott. Gosh, I have loved watching you grow, my friend. Oh, not born and raised. Where? Where were you born?
So I was born in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but I only lived there for, I think, 6 months because my dad was in the military and then left when I was born, moved to Michigan, grew up in Michigan till I was 9 or 10, I believe, and then we moved to Chagrin then. So I think I was in fourth or fifth grade when we moved. I think fifth, but we moved in the middle. We moved during Christmas break of fourth or fifth grade. You know, I remember being scared to move as a little kid, but I don't remember any. Once we were there, maybe a couple weeks was odd, and then you just meet everybody, and it's great. You know, I
think your sister would probably have a different comment to that, as well as my girls.
Yes,
I think girls are just different than guys kind of fitting into a small town like Chagrin.
I remember, the first couple days of school, one of my best friends still, Connor Clegg, invited me.
Shout out Connor Clegg.
Shout out Connor Clegg. I just remember like hanging out with him, eating lunch with him. You know, those are the memories that are super fun, and all of these photos coming. I just shot this movie and we had to, set deck photos throughout the house. And so my mom's sending me all these photos of us from, 5th, 6th, 7th grade and high school. And so excited.
Chagrin Falls is big until you do something wrong.
And then it's really small.
It's the smallest thing. The acting bug actually started here on these grounds. And if I recall correctly, share the story. That was not a plan for you whatsoever. You were sports.
Yes, I was a vehement sports guy with no athletic ability, so it was kind of a conundrum for the family. But I kind of started to think like maybe, once you're in high school and you're playing sports, and it's just really not going to come together for you at that point. I thought maybe sports broadcasting or sports journalism, or I wanted to be like a sports center announcer. And then Corey, my older brother, and my younger sister Carly were in all the shows, community theater, and Corey was immensely talented, as was Carly, but she was younger. But he was, it was clear that everyone knew Corey should be doing this thing, I think. I remember just hearing him sing in high school, and it was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So my mom, the town passed the levy, almost sounds like a Hallmark movie, to build the brand new theater. And it was Corey's senior year. My mom really wanted me to be in the musical. Carly was a freshman. I was a sophomore. So she gave me I actually remember this like so clearly. We were in the car and she had asked me a couple times to do it, and I was like, I'm not doing that. She wanted me to audition for Oklahoma the musical, and she said, I'll give you $50 to do it. Just please do it. I was like, all right, let's do it. So I did it, and then I think that might have started a explosion into an area that maybe for a few years there she had wished she hadn't given me $50. But that's kind of how it started, Oklahoma. I was maybe like the horse wrangler, who knows? I know I had one line, and Judd dies, and my line was, "Don't touch him." And the first night, I think we were all goofing off on stage, and I don't know, I missed it, and all of a sudden I hear Corey say, "Don't touch him." 'Cause he knew everybody's line, so he said it for me. And then after
Of
that, the
course.
next few nights, I got it. The next year, uh, Megan Consolo, uh, we kind of auditioned, and I think there were certain people along my, I think there's been a few people along my journey who still to this day, I'm meeting people like this who kind of just see something in me, and they're like, they can tell I'm like not going for it because I'm nervous or something. I don't know what it was back then, but she gave me a voice. She was like, I want you to come to Solon. She was teaching at Solon at the time. I think she's still there, and just do a voice lesson with me. And I think she was just trying to get me to feel more comfortable. So I went and did that, and then came back for callbacks, and I like really felt like I sang for the first time. And then, um, yeah, they gave me the lead, which was awesome. And then I broke my ankle. Remember
Yeah,
that?
I do. Yes, I do.
So I had the walking boot on stage, and I was kind of hopping around, and it was really fun though.
Yeah.
It was just so much fun. So that
And
was
then
the next year.
senior year, I think something magical happened for your class. Um,
Mm.
anybody and everybody came out for the Music Man. And I
Yeah,
don't know why it was sports people. It was everybody. And then of course we had the infamous, who will be a guest on this podcast, Mr. Rob Sapp,
right.
um, directed it. And do you think it was because a guy from Broadway was coming to direct it, or why was everybody so into being a part of it? Do you think you started it because you merged from sports to theater?
It's a really good question. So Rob came and choreographed Kansas City,
You're right.
dance number Kansas City in Oklahoma when I was a sophomore. And we were like, this guy is so cool, you know. Although most of us were like, I was such an airhead. I didn't realize how cool it was that he was there, but I knew it was cool because Corey was
Mhm.
really excited, and I just knew how cool Rob was because I got to work with him all day, and he was just amazing. And then flash forward 2 years later, I'm super keyed into everything. And I'll never forget, I was really sick. I got the flu, or I think swine flu or something crazy. And Jane Manchester called me and said, Rob Sapp is directing the musical. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. But I was sick, and I think she was like, you should be more excited. And I was like, no, I think I'm dying. But he came, and then I think it was kind of a multitude of many things why so many people were in that. I think Rob, probably number one. I think number two, the culture at that time was like Glee and American Idol and certain musicals. Like I think this is probably a small part of it, but like Spring Awakening and Next to Normal and musicals like that are coming out, which were kind of super chic and different. And I think um, a lot of the guys had maybe come to show choir stuff, or maybe seen one of the musicals with some of my buddies, and so they came. And so I think it was kind of a multitude of all those things. There's certain guys like Connor who I think were just like town guys who just did everything. But like once like Chris Trinetti and Chris Flesher and Matt Deagle and all these guys came and did it. I'm really good. I was really good friends with those guys. All of a sudden it was like, we're all just going to do this. And so, it's kind of incredible that it happened.
Yeah.
You
And
know what
how
I mean?
lucky that Rob was even an option.
Oh, yeah.
You
And
know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Like schools don't have like just how lucky and blessed that was.
yeah. And for him to come in and do that, I think it could, like a person could come in from Broadway and be like, I'm going to do a three-person play with three people that I really find interesting and I really want to help. But Rob was like, I'm gonna make this the big. I think there was 100 people in the musical, and we're
Crazy.
gonna double cast it, and we're gonna make sure everyone has their moment to shine, and we're gonna make sure everyone in the whole town is here because this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. And I think it was such a I don't know. It's just exactly what theater should be, especially in high school, something like that. Um, and it was just so fun because it felt like the cool thing to do, you know?
Right. It was.
Yeah.
It
And
totally was. And then
um,
years later, he came back and got to direct me in
there
Peter
you go.
Pan.
Yes, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I made my debut, my one and done, and he tricked me because it was supposed to be Annie, which is my absolute favorite of
Hey,
all
they're both
the characters.
iconic.
I had a whole thing. I was going to be the orphan that never got adopted, and I was going to be my age in the thing. And the scene where they put her in the laundry bin and take her out, I would go in the laundry bin, and then they wouldn't be able to pick it up because it would be so heavy. I mean, I had the whole thing. We had the whole thing ready to go, and then somebody I don't know much about the rights and all that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
somebody around was already doing Annie, so they
Yeah.
couldn't get the rights. So then it ended up being Peter Pan, which, I mean, it was lovely. And of course, he had to bring in the people, the equipment that flew the real
Oh,
Peter
yeah.
Pan on Broadway. I mean, it was just, he's amazing. He's
I just
amazing.
remember thinking it was so cool. He made like real playbills for the Music Man, and it felt like we were doing like a real thing together. And like, he also helped. I mean, Rob and I are still friends to this day. I actually need to call him, but Rob, if you're listening, I will call
Yeah.
you. We're he's so busy. We always miss each other. Um, but he helped me with like my college auditions and it's been so fun to be a high school kid with him to now both being adults and in the industry. And he came to see my first or second show on Broadway, which was just so sweet. And he's just always been so encouraging, and he's just the best.
He is.
Like, there's not
He's
many,
just
and
an
he still comes to
incredible
Cleveland all
human
the
being.
time. He's there all the time.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
and I'm
an
kind of at the age Rob was when he did Music Man now.
that's
So,
crazy.
maybe I got to come back.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Could you?
Maybe we got to come do a co-directing. But Corey also just had a Hallmark movie come out where he kind of, did you watch it?
Oh my gosh, he is so freaking funny in it.
He's unbelievable. I was texting him last night, just like, dude, you're so annoying because you have to be great in everything. Like,
It
I just want you to do one thing where you're just a little off.
it wasn't cheesy. It
It was
wasn't. It
so
was a
perfect.
good one.
It was so perfect, and he's so funny and charming, and like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
But
then he
it gave me,
sang my favorite "Oh Holy Night"
oh yeah, oh
and
yeah.
nailed it.
But it was giving major Rob Sapp
Yeah, yeah, I thought the
2010
same.
vibes.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Oh my gosh, so good. So you go off to college. You started it at Boston U.
Right.
Were you going into theater at that time?
Yes.
You were. Okay.
So I auditioned for colleges, and I really wanted to go to Carnegie Mellon, where Corey went and was going.
Hmm.
Um, but it's so auditioning for schools is really, really intense and difficult. And I was still very green because I'd only been acting for about 2 years.
Right.
So I got waitlisted at Carnegie because they accept the people, and then if some people decide to go to other schools, there's a wait list and you can get bumped up or whatever. So which made me feel like they saw something in me, and maybe, you know, maybe it was because who knows what, but I got
Because
into.
you're going against people who they've been doing it since they were 5 years old. So they have a portfolio
Oh
and,
yeah,
you
yeah, and
know,
people from New York and LA and all over the world.
Mhm.
And I've like been acting for 2 years. So I went to BU, which is great school, and I really liked it, but I just didn't feel like it was the right fit for me. And I remember Christmas break after my first semester, talking to my parents and just feeling like, and this is a Rob thing too, actually. Rob always said you need to trust your gut, always, like always, always, always. And I just felt like this overwhelming feeling that I was not in the right place. So I went back for a week and then called my parents and they picked me up the next day. And I went home. And which was funny because I got home and some of my theater friends who were still in high school were like, we heard you like just couldn't cut it, or like it was so overwhelming. And I was like, no, it just was weird.
Yeah.
Um, and so actually, funny enough, one of those friends is such a great guy and he lives in Tennessee now. So we've been hanging out. Anyway, so then it was kind of this weird time where I couldn't really audition for schools again. Um, but Kent State had a late audition process. So I figured I would audition there and I did, and go there for a year. So I worked at this coffee shop and made money however I could. And my parents said I could leave school, but I had to get a job and I couldn't fight with Carly over the car. So I was like, got you. Um, so I'm
Still
I'm
in
now
high school.
what's that?
She was still in high school.
Senior in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then finish that year. Carly goes to Syracuse. I go to Kent State, and I loved it. I loved it there. It was amazing. Like I loved it. But I had this like kind of overwhelming feeling that I wanted to go to Carnegie. So I auditioned there again, and then got in, and that felt right. The only crazy thing is that CMU is a 4-year program, so I had to start all over my freshman year.
Oh,
And so, which ended up still being the greatest blessing because I'm still very green at this point. I didn't perform at BU, I didn't perform at Kent State either. And actually, no, that's not true. I did a regional play at Cleveland Playhouse. We did Romeo and Juliet, and then I did a production of Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson. And then I went to CMU after that. And Corey had just graduated, so it was really nice that I kind of got to go into school and have my own experience without him there. It was kind of serendipitous in a way. I moved right into his apartment too.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
so that was cool. Um,
We saw some interesting shows that you were in while you were
yeah, oh
while
yeah,
you were there.
oh
A
yeah.
couple real
Couple
good
interesting
ones.
ones. Oh yeah, we did a lot of interesting stuff there. The first 2 years there, you can't perform, so you work crew backstage, which is amazing. And then the last 2 years, you're just in shows all the time. Um, so that was great. I look back on it. My class were very close. We still have a group chat. We text all the time, and just really great people. This is an interesting story. So Corey, so I did a play. I did a play in Pittsburgh, probably one of the ones you came to see. A really cool play called Small Engine Repair, and it was a regional gig. I got to do a couple things in college. I did Parade, and then this
I
place.
saw Parade.
Yeah, Small Engine Repair was at this black box theater. It's called Black Bones Productions, and
Yeah.
the play finished, and one of my castmates, a guy named Gabe King, who's an incredible actor, lived in New York and needed to go back to New York. And I decided to drive up there to go see Corey for a couple nights. And during that time, they were doing sometimes they do these nationwide searches for movies or shows. They just audition everybody. And so they were casting the new Han Solo for the Han Solo movie. This is a while ago now. And so they had the seniors at CMU and I think a couple other colleges audition. And so I just sent in an audition tape and so we get flash forward. Gabe and I are in my car driving to New York, and I get an email from this agent who I had never heard of before. Um, but he said, "Hey, I was just talking to the casting director of this movie, and she said you made a really good audition. Could you send it to me?" I was like, "Yeah." And
Pause for 1 minute.
okay,
For those who are watching, tell us a little bit about what an audition tape
right.
might look like.
So pre-COVID, the industry kind of started moving in this direction, especially for TV and film, where instead of going into a room and auditioning for a group of people, basically you set up your camera on a now they have such great technology for doing this, but I still just use my phone. I set it up on a tripod, and then you put the reader kind of behind the camera that's recording you, so they're off screen, and you basically film yourself doing the audition, and then you send that in. So that's kind of your audition. It's a way of doing everything virtually.
They're
Uh,
sending you a script, or they're sending
yep.
you something that you have to be okay.
A lot of time, not for this movie, but for most things, they'll send you the script, and then there'll be like a separate PDF of the scenes they want you to record, and it could be like sometimes it's one, sometimes it's four. It depends on what it is. If it's a play, which now even theaters doing self tapes, it's a lot more dialogue, but it's a kind of a way of auditioning wherever, and it's one advantage is you can kind of live wherever, you don't have to drive to your auditions. A disadvantage is you don't get to meet people in person as much. A lot of times they'll do them on Zoom now too, which is nice, but a little clunky because you're like acting on Zoom.
Right.
Um,
And do you feel like there's more of a pool also? Because people can send in stuff versus, I might be able to send in something, but I'm not going to drive to New York.
100%. I think there's a much bigger pool. I think specifically right now where a lot of the film and TV industry is consolidated, there's, that kind of makes the pool seem even bigger in terms of available actors. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think there's a lot of cool things. Like there's moments when you wish you could just go in the room, but there's also moments where you think maybe some, just like me, when I was in college, kid is going to get discovered and be seen by these people because he made a tape in his, parents' bedroom in Arkansas or something. And I think
Right.
there's something really beautiful about that.
Okay. So I sidetracked you. I
No,
apologize. So you're in the car and you get an email.
I get this email and he's like, "Could you send me your audition tape?" So I asked Gabe. He's like, "Yeah, you should send that in." And I call Corey. And it turns out that agent then says, "This is great. I'm going to send it to the guys in New York," because this agent was in LA. Those guys in New York were representing Corey's co-star of the musical he was doing at that time, which was great. Um, so I get to New York, and coincidentally, Corey's cast of that show he's doing is hanging out, and I'm there, and this actress, so lovely, says, I talked to my agent, and he said you're going to meet him this week. And so then at the end of the week, before I drive home, go meet these guys, and it goes really well. Corey was preparing me, just being like, "Hey, just keep you don't know what's going to happen. They're just starting to meet people." And but I felt like it went really well. So I called him, said, "Dude, I think this went well." And then they called me and they said they wanted to represent me that day. So now I'm driving back to Pittsburgh and my last semester of school. And in a few weeks, we do what you brought up as a showcase. So we go to New York and LA and we perform for agents and managers and casting directors. And the hope usually for that is to get representation. But thankfully, since I already had that, it was kind of a relief in many ways. At least I had a portion of that. So we go to our showcase, and then sorry, I'm just like giving you
That's what we want, man. I
great.
feel like I need popcorn.
Yeah, so we go to our showcase, and it went really well. It was kind of interesting for the first 48 hours because a lot of my classmates are getting emails from agents and these people, and I felt a little weird because I wasn't doing any meetings in that arena, but it still felt like a little uncomfortable because I just wasn't maybe getting responses, or it's a very odd situation no matter where you are, you know. And then I got a few auditions the day after Showcase was done. I auditioned for and meetings. So that they used to do general meetings with casting directors. And they still do. You kind of just go sit down, you talk for 10 minutes, they get to know you a little bit. So the day after that, now we're to Wednesday. We performed all day, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I had an audition for, they were doing Pirates of Penzance, which finally went to Broadway. That's how long we've been making that one. At Paper Mill Playhouse, which I auditioned for, and then Pittsburgh CLO. I had an audition for that. So two big musical auditions, and then I had an audition for Riverdale. And funny enough, I had auditioned for Riverdale twice already for Archie and Jughead. So, because once I had that agent, they were sending me auditions all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so I go audition for Riverdale. So this is actually interesting for the audition setup.
Yeah.
Riverdale's main casting director is a guy named David Rappaport, who his company is in LA. So there's a casting director, and then there's a studio. Warner Brothers was our studio. Warner Brothers also has casting directors that work together with David.
Okay.
And then there's all these levels that auditions go through, from casting directors to the studio to producer to directors to producers. And you kind of have to clear all those levels. It's why some people audition for the show 7 times. So I went and auditioned for Riverdale with the Warner Brothers team, and didn't feel like it went well at all. Like,
What does that mean? Like,
they just worked with me. So looking back, everything that made me think it didn't go well,
they had a reason.
now makes me, if that happens, I think it's going really well. They just worked with me a lot. They were really intentional and specific, and it kind of felt like I just wasn't giving them what they wanted, or it was lovely and wonderful, but I just felt I left, and probably because I had 3 auditions that day, I was exhausted, but I just left feeling like I don't know, what I'm doing right now. I'm in college. This is a lot.
Yeah.
And I went to a restaurant to get some food, and I got a call from my agent that I was pinned, which means, like, think about pinning your headshot to a wall.
Okay.
Everything works. And then an hour later called me and told me I got it, and I had to fly to Vancouver the next morning. And my parents were in New York, thankfully, for my showcase. So I went over to meet them and my brother, and it was like, this is a lot. I don't know what I'm doing.
Because you're still in school.
I'm still in school. I have like a month or two. I have like 2 months left of school, 3 months left. And like, I always thought my path was going to be, trying to do a play or trying to do a musical, because I watched Corey do that, and I didn't think TV and film was really something that I could get. You just kind of,
You weren't even
it's
looking
get it
that way.
yeah. So then it actually became, I almost didn't get to do Riverdale because my passport was in Pittsburgh. That's a whole other piece of this story.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like getting phone calls left and right. We can fly you to, you got to fly yourself to Pittsburgh and go get your passport, and then go back to the airport, and then we'll get you to Vancouver, because the table read was the next morning. Basically, come to find out, they were in a pickle to cast Kevin on Riverdale, and the table read was Friday, and this is Wednesday. So we say, yes, we're going to do it. I go to bed, I wake up, fly to Pittsburgh, get my passport, get back in the car, fly to Vancouver. Didn't even know where Vancouver was, which is just me being an idiot.
Why do I need a passport?
Yeah. So land, wake up, go meet with Roberto, who created Riverdale, and the director. And they say, hey, this table read, have you done this before? And I'm like, dude, I've just done random plays in Pittsburgh. Like, don't. And they said, we're all going to sit at a big table. There's going to be a bunch of people on this TV, and just make sure you reach the back of the room and really enjoy yourself. But, people can get fired from a table read pretty quickly. So
What do you mean, reach the back of the room? Loud?
That's a thing that we say in theater a lot. Yeah, you just got to make sure you're
Project.
really communicating what you're saying, and you're really people can understand what your jokes and what you're saying. And I was like, that's great. That's what I'm used to. So we do that, and it went well, I guess. And
And
then
are these the original people that were
whole cast is there.
okay? So can we pause for a minute because you know I've
Yes.
got my Luke Perry obsession.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I was born in the 70s and then 90210 that's my generation.
100%. So
You're
I walked
walking
in.
into this room and Luke, I mean, because he was really the other ones weren't, if I recall correctly, he was probably the biggest, right?
Yeah, Luke Machen, who was in Twin Peaks, and
Yes.
Marisol had done a lot of stuff. And then at this point, no one else, none of the new cast is there. It was just the like OG first people there. So all the kids were there. I just
Were you
remember
losing
Luke.
your shit?
Yeah, like honestly, I was kind of just like I didn't really have time to. Like
Yeah, you were.
I was like, let's go, man. I didn't know what was going on, and so I was like, this must be how it works. I don't know. So I think ignorance was bliss in that moment.
Yeah.
Um, everyone was really nice too. Like Luke was super nice, and KJ and Colt, they were all just, everyone was really awesome. Lily was from Ohio, so that was really nice. Um, the director, Lee Krieger, is such a great dude. He was just so great and encouraging. And so, yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
So you do a read, you say people could get fired just because they do a shitty read, like they just.
Kinda. I mean, I would say it's like, it'd be rare for someone to get fired from a table read, but it happens. A lot of times people shoot the pilot and then they replace people.
Mhm.
That can happen, and I think that's more common. And it could be a number of reasons. Um, I think sometimes when that happens, it's just it was bad. The casting just didn't work, you know.
Right.
Um, but thankfully that didn't happen to anybody. And so we do that. That day I had to like get my hair cut and colored, and then oh, that day I also had to get my chest waxed. Have you heard about that?
No, no, but let's share it.
I I look, this is one thing looking back. They did not force me to get my chest waxed by any means, but they just were like, you can tell there's hair. So I was like, yeah, whatever. So like go do that. And I'm like on fire. And then we had a dinner that night, and I was just sitting there kind of like, I just met all these people. I'm like, this is awesome. All this food and drinks are free. And, you know, it was great. And then that Monday we started shooting. And the
Well, what
first
about
shot of
school?
Riverdale ever was me,
Oh
like
my gosh.
walking down a hallway with Betty and Veronica. And it's actually kind of an intricate scene, just movement wise. And like every executive producer's there. And I could tell everyone was very nervous about the first day because there's a lot of little things like you want to get the first shot off before a certain time so it doesn't look like you're wasting time, and a lot of things outside of my control, really.
Right.
But I'll never forget, we did it a couple times, and this executive producer like popped her head out of a classroom. She was like, "You're doing great."
You were just going to be in the first season and then got picked up, or were
So,
you always going to be?
so the way contracts work in TV shows, there's a kind of a bunch of different contract tiers. So, the top level, or I guess the top level is a good way to put it, are called series regulars, and those are traditionally like a 6-year contract, and they're year by year contracts. So the show kind of has an option at the end of each year to pick you up for the next year. But it's kind of a way of a show protecting itself, like Riverdale. If a show does really well, that these actors can't just leave and go do whatever they want to do.
Right, right.
Then there's guest stars, and those are episode by episode contracts. Sometimes it could be a recurring guest star, which means um, 3 episodes or something like that. And there's a SAG after a union rate for those. You can get paid more, but there's a set rate for those.
Okay.
And then there's day players, which are people that are paid by the day and kind of have a couple lines, or maybe they're in one scene or whatever. and so on and so forth. So I was a guest star for season one. So I had a episode by episode contract.
Wow.
Um, and that's normal for the first season of shows. I don't think it's, you can only have so many characters in a
Main
show.
people. Okay.
But I think about halfway or two-thirds of the way through season one, they negotiated my series regular contracts for the next few seasons and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it was interesting though, because I never knew, if maybe I was going to get killed or maybe, you know, how does that work? Or
Right. When did you get your script for the next show?
for the next episode.
The next episode, right?
So that was interesting. Season one, we would all be like a little like nervous to see what was going to happen because nobody knew. And there was a couple moments where I thought it was going one way. I personally never ever felt like it was coming my way. Um, I thought it was going one character's way, and the finale when we were reading it, I remember everyone was very sweaty because you just didn't want it to be you, but it's kind of cool if it is, it's like you just want to have a job.
Right.
But they would keep them, we wouldn't get them till pretty soon before we were shooting them. And I
Like
think
hours or days or weeks?
a day, sometimes I think that one we read all for the first time together.
Really?
Um, and I do think if someone was getting killed or something, that they would call them up and be like, "Hey." So it wasn't just like
They weren't learning right then and there
yeah.
at the read.
Um,
And what actor was always the one that would make everybody laugh during the,
table reads.
yeah, or
Hmm.
or when you're shooting, or who was the funny one?
Uh, I, everyone was so funny. I do think KJ is very, very, very funny.
That was
And
he the one that's now singing under
I don't
another?
know. Don't know. It's a alter ego. I've never
Got
spoken
you.
about it.
Got you. Okay.
He
Because
looks
he
very similar
just performed at the
to Macy's
Thanksgiving
Parade.
Day Parade. Yeah. And the girls were all chatting about that.
I've tried to. He won't acknowledge it. If he's never talked to me about it. I think they look pretty similar, but I couldn't tell
There's
you.
fake teeth. Believe me, my girls are all on it.
Yeah,
They're checking the teeth out. Yeah.
if it's him,
Um,
he's tight-lipped. But
yeah. So how many years did that go on? Remind me.
7 seasons. So we
Seven
started
seasons.
in we started in 2016. We started in March of 2016. We finished in June of 23.
All right. So share some opportunities during that show series that you got. Like, give us the good stuff. Who did you get to hobnob with? What were the benefits?
Yeah,
That kind of stuff. The good stuff. The
yeah.
dirt.
Well, one cool thing about Riverdale, um, and I think was overwhelming during that time, but looking back, it created a lot of cool opportunities. Is social media was different now, almost 10 years ago. In that it just there weren't so many platforms, and it seemed like Instagram and Twitter were kind of all there was. And Riverdale just was so big on social media that it presented a lot of cool opportunities for us to do and go certain places. And they do these fan conventions, which are really fun. So we would do some of those together, which was fun. We all went to Paris together, which was really, really fun. Um, and then, the industry is really small. It's like Broadway, it's so small. Film and TV's bigger, just in that it's wider, but there was always people shooting in Vancouver that we'd hang out with, and we were in LA a lot for press or work stuff. So we'd be down there a lot. And this person would know this person who knew this person, and all of a sudden you're hanging out together. Um,
Who's
so
the who's the one that really blew your mind where you said, I cannot believe I'm sitting or hanging with
we
other
went to
than me, obviously.
we went to the actually, this is a funny story. we did this press event in LA that coincided with the Golden Globes, and I'm still a guest star at this point, so I haven't. And all the cast was going to this Golden Globe watch party, and then there was an after party. I didn't realize that I only had a ticket to the after party, but the rest of the cast had a ticket to the dinner. There was a dinner and then the after party. But someone's manager at the time, and I kind of realized it as we're going to the event, and someone's manager was just like, "Dude, you just come with me," and just walked me in, and I don't really know how that worked, but I was really stressed about it. Anyway, that was the first time, and it's early season 1. The show hasn't really aired or popped yet. That we were all in the room with the biggest movie stars in the world, like all night. And, it's a party that's like, it was just crazy. I couldn't believe any of it. I think that was the biggest moment of like, this is not normal. Because up until then, it had just been like me and my friends hanging out on set in Vancouver.
Right.
And that when I saw that, I thought, okay, we're starting to enter a territory of being around these people. And then the show came out, and it did really well. And then all of a sudden, we went to like little things that at the time seemed so crazy, like going to Coachella, and everybody, wanted pictures with us, or you'd go to like just anywhere. It just seemed like all of a sudden it was everywhere. So I don't know which person to me was the most exciting. There's been a few I mean, there's so many people that I just meet randomly. I met Neil Patrick Harris the other day in New York, and he was like super kind and said he had watched the show, and there's just people like that you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I've been a fan of yours forever,
Yeah.
So that was.
Do you think growing up in
Andrew Garfield. The answer is Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay.
Andrew Garfield, I saw on the Upper East Side of New York, and he had just got nominated for a Tony for Angels in America. And I went up to him, and it's just, I promised myself I would never go up to any celebrities ever. But I was like, I love him. And so I just said, hey, congrats on your Tony nomination. And he was like, are you an actor? And I said, yeah. And he said, are you on Riverdale? And I said, yes.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, I've been watching Riverdale to come down from Angels in America every night. And like, that blew my mind. And that's always my favorite one. Like the nicest.
Oh, wow. The Broadway. Were you in Riverdale at the time? And then
Yeah, so
did Moulin Rouge, and you did Tommy.
yeah, so Tommy happened in between season 3 and 4, I think. I believe it was 3 and 4. It was either two and 3 or 3 and 4. And that was kind of quick. We rehearsed in New York for 2 weeks, and then or 3 weeks, and then the show was, I think we were in DC for like 10 days. But it was awesome.
I saw it.
Yes,
It was amazing.
we just had the best time.
Yeah.
Um,
Who
and
who was in that with you?
Wes Taylor, Christian Borle, Mandy Gonzalez,
Okay.
and a bunch of
Were you nervous? Because you went right from school to Riverdale.
yeah.
Were you nervous that you didn't earn it yet, or
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you know what I
I think
mean?
I was more nervous for Moulin Rouge than Tommy.
Mhm.
Because Tommy was like getting shot out of a cannon. You just kind of got in there and did it. And it wasn't in New York. And I mean, Kennedy Center is one of the greatest places to perform ever, but it was a little removed from
Right.
that side. And, worst case scenario, it was a week and you do it. But I felt like it went really well, and I learned a lot. And so then theater wasn't really like, I mean, it's always on the radar for me. But Moulin Rouge came out of nowhere. I had worked with Bill Damashki, the producer, on a reading. We did a reading together when I was fresh out of school. I auditioned for that and got it. Like fresh. I did the pilot of Riverdale, and then I was in New York for a few months, and then got this reading. And it was a big deal at the time because it was Stephen Schwartz musical. Um, so I'd worked with them before, and then that kind of came at a really interesting time because we had just bought a house and Nicola was pregnant, and I had always wanted to spend a year in New York after Riverdale before moving anywhere else. But we had bought a house in Nashville because the film was on strike, the actors were on strike,
Mhm.
and or they were about to be. And so that kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, "This is amazing! There's no chance I would never not do this." And then Riverdale ends. We moved all our stuff to Tennessee, and I was here for like 7 days, and then went to New York and started rehearsals. So that was crazy, just timing wise. And yeah, that was like getting
And
shot out of a cannon.
you had your son during the
As we
time you
did.
were, yeah.
Yeah, which I do not recommend. I highly recommend having kids. I highly recommend being on Broadway. If you can avoid them happening at the same time, that would be helpful. If you can't, it's doable. It is doable. You're going to get sick a lot, but it's doable.
You handled it. You know, now that you could be an Elvis.
And what?
You could be an Elvis. You could,
Elvis?
if there's any directors out there, just your face
We just
right
missed it.
now.
They just did it.
I know, but it's all right. They've done
They'll do it again.
many, and they will do many. Strangest thing you read on social media about yourself that wasn't true.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's been so many weird things.
There's a lot of are you married still? Like, are you married
There's
or
that.
married still? A lot of that.
There's been dating rumors of people I've like never met. There's been like rumors of most of them are really inappropriate, I don't want to say. Um, there's been some weird ones. We'll just go with weird dating
Yeah. Bec-
things.
because Riverdale, there's almost a cult-like feel
100%.
to it.
Yeah,
Not only that, but you've got people who enjoyed the comic book,
right.
that cult following, and
Yeah.
then you had your own. What's the craziest fan thing that has ever happened to you?
Um, there used to be a lot of people negative thing that's happened is there used to be people that would kind of always know where you were like in New York or LA, they'd kind of always know you were at the airport or something like that, and they'd kind of pop up. That kind of freaked me out. That was
Yeah.
um but I think mostly all the fan stuff we ever dealt with was just really like nice, excited people. I always love when like you're at a bar and some guy comes up and he's like, "Dude, my girlfriend loves you," or like, like the drunk bros who are acting like they didn't watch the show, but they clearly did.
Right, right. Is it so you're done with that? You're not doing you just finished something?
Yeah, I just shot a movie in New York, indie thriller, which was really fun. Um, it's called Games We Play. It was a small cast. A young, amazing director named Rachel Dahl. It was her first feature. It was really fun. So I just wrapped that to the week of Thanksgiving.
And is it just always a grind? Are you just always doing auditions and is it
Always,
just constant?
never
Yes,
ends.
never ends.
It's like a panic attack every day that you just
Yes,
can't get
because you
over.
never know I mean, you never know what you're going to do next.
Yeah, you just have to love it more than anything, and you
Yeah.
have to find the Rob Sapps in the world and just kind of get better all the time. You just have to figure out how to get better all the time and allow yourself some joy. Like I just shot a movie and came home and I've gained 15 pounds this week and I'm in heaven. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So sometimes you got to do that, but you have
right.
to continually move forward and keep the things in control that you can control, and that's it.
Do you think that because you grew up in a small town that does keep you grounded for those moments that you're, hanging out with superstars and you're just, I also think your family, the way that you were raised also, you have
Yeah.
good morals but do you think living in a small town was a benefit or the
Um,
opposite? Were you shocked with it all?
I think I mean, I love growing up in Chagrin, and we live in the suburbs now because I love New York City so much. And there's a world where we spend time there and
Mhm.
suburbs, but I love just having access to so many things. Like I had access to sports and theater and anything in between. Um, and I want that for my son. Um, but I have friends who are super grounded that grew up in New York and saw so much when they were kids that they just were grounded. I think it's more just about the people you surround yourself with, and sometimes it is getting back in touch with your roots, but I feel like I have a support system where whenever I start to get a little crazy, they kind of bring me back down to earth, and um, I think that's been the most important thing for me. Yeah,
If you weren't acting, what would you be doing?
I'd be like a professional ice cream taster.
What's your favorite flavor?
I like a peanut butter, vanilla based peanut butter
Okay.
Reese's situation. Um,
Okay.
I like baking. I like cooking. Maybe I'd learn to do that a little better, but
Dairy Island.
tasting most.
Would you get it at Dairy Island?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to do some rapid questions.
Okay.
I'm going to end the show with some rapid, fun questions, kind of like what flavor.
Okay.
Let's see what we got. If you could be on any series right now that's kind of hot right now, what series do you want to be on?
Stranger Things.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's done. So that's a good one to say.
I was going to say, yeah. Why are you going to hop on now?
Yeah,
What's
that's
the
a bad
point?
one.
I've never seen that yet. Everyone says that I would love it because of the 80s, because of the
It's so much
soundtrack.
fun. I just feel like they have so much fun, and
Okay.
yeah, I love to do
Who would
it.
play you in the film about Casey Cott?
Hmm.
Who would you want to play you, I should say?
That's such a good. I've literally never thought about that. It's such a wild question. Um,
Uh-oh.
that's Cash. Corey.
Okay. Speaking of, when will I have now watched the Jonas Brothers Christmas show. I just watch every day I try to watch a Hallmark style
Oh yeah,
show. Last night I watched the Lawrence brothers. It was very, very
yeah.
cute.
We watched that.
They have a whole series of
I
them.
think so. Yeah.
When are we going to have a Cott brother? It doesn't
We've
have to
talked
be
about it.
Hallmark. What?
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Uh, we've talked about many ideas, and I think that we just need to sit down and do something. But
Yeah.
we've talked about a lot of different ideas. So hopefully in the next couple of years we do something.
I love that. And of course, Carly would have to have her.
Oh yeah, we're way ahead of you.
Every time we watch the Lawrence one or the Jonas, the bonus brother, we call the bonus brother, but we'd have to have the cameo for the bonus sister
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
we don't even worry about that.
Yeah, we got you got it.
Oh yeah,
What is something that instantly puts you in a good mood?
Cash, my son.
I love that.
Mhm.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Chicken wings,
And not so fries.
not so fries.
What hobby or interest do you have that maybe nobody really knows about?
I am obsessed with watching those cleaning videos.
What
Have you seen
cleaning video?
those?
No.
There's like these videos on, like if you're just scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, there's these videos of people cleaning things, like dirty rugs or like really dirty cars. I
And
love
you get into that.
it. Gives
Okay.
me joy to see that
Uh,
mess cleaned
and
up.
I am sure that they will now be all over my
Yeah,
Instagram
there you go.
now that they heard that. What are you binging right now?
It's funny, since I've been in New York, I didn't watch anything for a month. But we just started Pluribus
Oh, I
on
don't know that
Apple
one.
Plus. Vince Gilligan's new show. Amazing.
Okay.
We're 2 episodes in. I think there might be only two out, but
Do you
we watched
have to binge with Nicola, or do you get to
it.
binge shows on yourself?
I would say I would say 7.5 out of 10 shows we binge together. And then
Okay.
our taste is different on a few that she will watch and I will watch.
A guilty pleasure, the
Um,
cleaning videos.
yeah, a guilty pleasure would be, what do we do that's a guilty pleasure? We like, I'd say golfing. Golf trips are like just
Okay.
my, like, I know it's 5 hours away, but I just love to get out there and do that.
What's 5 hours away?
Like a round of golf is just 5 hours away from the
Oh,
house.
I got you. I
Yeah,
got you. Okay. All
yeah.
right. Favorite musical?
Assassins, Sondheim.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sometimes I just love it. It's just
Have you
great.
seen Wicked, the movie?
The new one.
Either of them?
I've
Both of
seen
you?
the first one, but I haven't seen the new one yet.
Haven't seen the new one yet. Okay. I will tell you, I have seen both. I was a little nervous at the beginning of the second because it almost gave an AI feel to it, and I was getting very nervous and disappointed. But
Hmm.
then it took a turn,
Okay.
and then it'll blow your mind.
I
But
can't wait.
yeah, I just love it.
Yeah.
Um, and late night or early morning?
Um, when I'm in Tennessee, early morning. When I'm in New York, late night.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Um, the best piece of advice you've ever received.
Trust your gut. We'll go Rob Sapp on that one.
All right. And my last one that I ask everybody, if you had a dinner and you can invite two people, dead or alive, who would be at your dinner table?
Oh man. Gotta go Jesus. Like greatest historic, like number one talked about person ever.
Hmm.
Um, and then someone really random. Maybe like my dad.
I love it. I had do you remember Little John from Big Chuck and
Yeah.
Little John? So I just interviewed him. It was the last one that I did. He wanted Jesus and the devil. Actually, it was
Oh yeah.
God and the devil.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because he said he wanted to get them to work it out. And I was like,
There's something so
okay.
amazing about that.
I thought that was
I'd
very,
rather
very
just like
clever.
hang out with my dad and be like, yo, check this out.
Yeah, I'm with Jesus. I'm
I'm a
with Jesus.
one-upper for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Best dinner ever.
And so you've got, when is the film that you just did? When is that coming out? When will we see that?
We just wrapped it, so it's going to be a while. I'm sure they're going to edit it and probably try to get it ready for festivals next year. And
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. It usually takes a few months though to get it going. Uh,
And where else what's next? Or is it just back to auditioning?
yeah, we're chilling now. We're going to take a break, get through the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm sure the new year will be busy, but this little in between Thanksgiving and I like to say any holidays in Hollywood are like 3x a normal holiday.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving turns into like a week and a half, and then the holidays at the end of the year are kind of like a month long, and so we should be pretty slow for the next couple weeks, which would be good.
I love it. I love it. Well, this has been such a joy
The
to sit
best.
down and chat with you. I am so thankful for you.
I love you.
Um, I love you and love your whole family, and have been blessed to watch your transition from the first step on the theater at the Performing Arts Center here in Chagrin Falls to just watching you and your entire journey has been such a joy to me and my
You
whole
you
family.
you guys have been there since the beginning, that's for sure. I know
We
that.
Well, we just want you to keep going, and we want
Yeah.
to keep watching. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We should
Well,
do
I
this more
adore
often.
you. Don't stop.
I
Keep
won't.
it.
We should do this more often and just not record it and catch up.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. And then come home and
we will.
come stay at the inn with us, and we'll just
Okay.
sit and drink wine all night and talk and have fun.
That sounds like my perfect
Um,
night. So I'm
I
in.
love it. I love it. All right. Take care. Give everyone hugs and kisses,
You too.
and we'll see ya. Love
All
ya.
right. Love ya. Bye.
Bye.